Jai Hind, this is Brigadier Hemant Mahajan. We are going to talk today on the incidents which took place on the border district of Nagaland on Saturday. We will cover the following facets. First, we will talk about as to what exactly was the incidents which led to the loss of life of 11 Naga people. Secondly, we will talk about as to what kind of a violence which started after the incidents took place. Thirdly, we will talk about what effect it had on the local population. Then we will talk about the actual problems in Nagaland. And thereafter, we will talk about as to what needs to be done in future to avoid such incidences and, of course, ensure that Nagaland proceeds on the path of development. Firstly, let us talk about the incidents, what happened on Saturday. Nagaland is a border state with the borders with Myanmar. A lot of smuggling, illegal trade takes place from there, and a lot of insurgents have their training camps in Myanmar because the Myanmar government doesn't have a control over its own area. As far as Nagaland is concerned, Nagaland has a population of approximately 20 to 25 lakhs. Exact number we will come to know when a census takes place again. And as far as Nagas are concerned, today the various insurgent groups in the Nagaland, especially the biggest one being NSCN IM, today is got a ceasefire with the army or with the government of India. That means there are no violent actions which are taking place, violence which is taking place via the insurgent groups. Most groups have agreed to the ceasefire and talks are going on between these groups and the government of India. What exactly happened on Saturday? On Saturday, information was received by 21 para special forces that a group of insurgents was going to use a pickup van and was going to infiltrate into our area. So therefore, at a particular point of time, they laid an ambush and wanted to stop those people who were coming inside. They tried to stop that vehicle. That vehicle did not stop. The soldiers of 21 para special forces saw some weapons with them. So when they did not stop, they fired on the vehicle, and thereafter the occupants of the vehicle started running left and right. When the soldiers realized that it was not armed insurgent, so they straight away stopped firing and they tried to help out people who were injured. Now, when this was happening, it was at this point of time that the news spread around that some people have been killed. So therefore, a large mob gathered and it started attacking the troops of the 21 para special forces. Now, in the second incident, again, they burnt some vehicles of the 21 SF, and thereafter the 21 SF had to fire in self-defense, in which one or two more people were killed and few injured. They tried to show restraint, but it didn't help. So the two incidences ended there. Thereafter, a wave of violence started in the border districts in which the crowds got together and started attacking the army camps. What we must understand here is that initially the army which was here now is mostly looking towards the China border and the Indo-Myanmar border, or the Nagaland-Myanmar border is looked after by the Assam Rifles. And Assam Rifles is a paramilitary force in which the troops are from all over in the Northeast. In fact, they are actually representative of the Northeast, and all the 7 states of Northeast as a very, very fair representation in the troops of Assam Rifle. The Assam Rifles is officered by the Indian Army, and they are in the border guarding role there. So this crowd started attacking the Assam Rifle camp. Now, Assam Rifle camp has a fencing, it has a gate, but they broke it, and a crowd of nearly 300-400 people came inside with local weapons such as da. Da, I'm sure everybody understands. It is like a kukri or a short sword which is used by the locals for cutting trees, cutting so many things, etc. And it is generally everybody carries a da because the area is full of jungles. So when they attacked the Assam Rifle camp, the Assam Rifle lost even one soldier. when they showed a lot of restraint and did not want to fire till the time the crowd reached the court where weapons of the Assam Rifles are kept. And if those weapons were looted, it would have caused a lot of violence later. That is when the Assam Rifles opened fire and few people were killed, few were injured, and then the crowd started running away. So this was actually what has happened. And now an inquiry has been ordered. The Home Minister of the country, Shri Amit Shah, has made a statement in the Lok Sabha that this was a mistaken identity. 21 para SF thought that it was insurgents who were coming, but the 21 para SF or any special forces battalions carry out operations based on an actionable intelligence. It was a credible intelligence as per them, which was proved wrong. So if at all a mistake was made, mistakes can be classified into two parts. One is mistakes of intention, and secondly, mistakes because of making a wrong judgment. In this particular case, a wrong judgment was there, and these kind of dangers are always there in such operations where in the past the insurgents have used civil vehicles, insurgents have got mixed with the crowd, insurgents have fired from the crowd, etc. So therefore, if that vehicle which was getting the laborers from the coal camp had stopped, possibly this incident wouldn't have taken place. So it be now an inquiry has been ordered by the Indian Army also, and I'm sure they will get into the detail and corrective actions will be taken so as to ensure that these kind of incidences do not happen in the future. Now, what is important at this point of time is to cool the temperature which is there and tell the people, educate the youth that today Nagaland is on a path of progress. If you look at the infrastructure, Nagaland, Manipur, and Mizoram fall in the same category, sharing a border with Myanmar. And being a mountainous area, there are problems of infrastructure, especially in terms of roads, etc. The road development is taking place at a very fast speed. The whole of Northeast is seeing a revolution there. So how does the road help the people in Nagaland? The local produce, which was sold at a very cheap price, now goes to the big cities such as Dibrugarh, Guwahati, and many other places, and they get a better price. Not only that, a lot of locals get jobs where infrastructure improvement takes place. What I must mention here is that the number of youth in the army or in the armed forces from the Nagaland is very, very high. Nagaland has got two Naga regiments which have taken, or call it Naga battalions, which have taken part also in the Kargil war. Their representation in the Assam Rifles is quite a lot. I must tell you that today bigger states have a much lesser representation, and purely statistically, if you see, 80-90% of the Assam Rifle troops, which number approximately 75,000 plus, are today from the Northeast, meaning from the states of Nagaland, Manipur, Mizoram. In fact, these days, the army is falling short of falling short of youth from this area. Especially, nobody wants to come from Sikkim, nobody wants to come from Arunachal Pradesh, etc. So maybe 5-10% of people from outside Northeast India are also getting recruited. But the fact is, the representation of the Naga youth in the army, in the paramilitary forces like Assam Rifles, is very substantial. And the last ambush which took place where Colonel Tripathi of 46, if I remember the number correctly, 46 Assam Rifle was killed along with his wife and his very cute child. In this particular encounter, his quick reaction team consisted of soldiers from Nagaland. Exact names I would not remember, but 2 Naga soldiers were also killed in this particular ambush. So Nagaland has got a tremendous representation in the army, in the Assam Rifles, in the Central Armed Police Forces like the CRPF, etc. Not only that, today the youth of Nagaland, and when I mean Nagaland, I also mean Manipur and Mizoram, are well educated, and a lot of them have come towards bigger cities like Bombay and Pune. And today I must tell you that that they are very largely employed in the tourism, in the hotel industry, in the tourism industry, etc. Because they have a good communication skills, they have good features, they are look smart, etc. So there are a lot of opportunities the youth of Nagaland and the three bordering states, especially bordering with Myanmar, is using to come out of Nagaland, because even now there is a requirement of increasing the number of jobs which are there. Today, if you look at the security issues of Nagaland, the most important security issue is the smuggling of drugs. Today, since it is connected with the border with Myanmar, Myanmar belongs to what is called as the Golden Crescent. From there, a lot of drugs keep on coming, and that actually affects the local youth. Of course, the drugs from there are transported to cities like Guwahati, and thereafter it goes ahead, etc. Second issue is the illegal trade which takes place. As far as normal items are concerned, one would not bother too much. But when there are items which have an impact on the security, that is where we need to stop. Nagaland, Manipur, and Mizoram has a one big issue. That is what is called as the free movement regime. The tribes on the both sides of the international border are permitted to go into each other's area up to 15 kilometers. Now, while this is a very good tradition, it ensures that the tribes are able to meet their relations, etc. But also the issue is it is used a lot of times for wrong purpose. So what we need to do is stop smuggling. We need to stop narco-terrorism. We need to stop illegal trade. And whatever is got inside from Myanmar has to be done by the legal means. Horticulture must improve in Nagaland. Agriculture must improve in Nagaland. And one of the most important things which can improve in a state like Nagaland is Nagaland tourism. There are beautiful places. Second World War, there are beautiful war memorials that are there. Tourists would want to come and visit those areas. In fact, the tourists are visiting a state of Meghalaya in large numbers, state of Sikkim in very large number. In fact, the number is so large that Sikkim is crowded today, places like Nathula and Gangtok, by the tourists. Even Ladakh, the tourism has reached such a high because of the quietness there, because of peace prevailing in that area, that the tourists are today outnumbering almost the local population, but it gives tremendous economic opportunities to the locals, restaurants, guides, transport industries, places of tourists, etc., where they act as helping the tourists to visit places, etc. So these are all are very good things to happen. If today we can increase tourism there, the locals will get opportunities for jobs in this particular area. In fact, I'm very, very clear in my mind that there's almost a revolution is taking place in the Northeast because of economic opportunities that have been created by improving infrastructure. I think this is what we need to follow. And odd incidents like this, of course, shouldn't have happened. It has happened. And I'm sure care will be taken in the future to ensure that these kind of mistakes are not repeated in future. But the economic development must not stop. Tourism development must not stop. The youth going outside, they must keep on going outside so that Nagaland and the other states of Northeast, which have lacking in development because of the rugged terrain, etc., now become as prosperous, as well-doing as is the rest of the country. So I'm sure this is what the government of Nagaland and everybody else will focus upon. And I'm also sure in the days to come, an accord will be signed between the government of India and the groups of especially NSM, IM, etc., so that they are able to actually join the democratic process and let's say rule Nagaland the way they want to. So I'm sure these are the things which we are looking forward to, and this incident will be forgotten, and of course action will be taken against anybody who's not followed correct procedures, etc. But we must focus to ensure that Nagaland develops as much as the rest of the country. Thank you and Jai Hind.